Uh, uh. I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares come true. It was time to marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do. If you want it, you gotta see it with a clear eye view. Got shorty, she try and bless me like I said I chew, like a sneeze. Please for them trick and squeeze, I'm getting cream. Never let them get in between of what we started. Look, but I'm lying hearted, they love me. Parted, I go and get it regardless.
Welcome them into the show. We got a couple legends today. I'm sitting with, first and foremost, I have to talk to the greatest 45-year-old man, the man on steroids, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Oh, wait, no. That's the fake Jim Cross. I'm sitting here today with the real Jim Cross. He's 39 and beautiful and straight up, ladies and gentlemen. He is straight up. Jim, how we feeling today, brother?
Man, I'm better now that I thought you were actually not going to change that and hang me out there to be 45. That might have bothered me more than the steroid comment, to be honest, man. Don't up me into the 40s. I'm trying to stay 39 forever.
Listen, brother, Jim Cross is SARMs free. He is all natural, baby. That is exactly what we're doing. But we're talking about a couple natural studs today. Welcome them into the show. Chase Dollander and Andrew Lindsery. How we feeling, guys? What's going on?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Man, we're just living. We're just living.
I just want to go to Andrews
again.
I just want to go to Andrews and build Legos since, before the show, we found out my man got boxes unopened.
Man, I got questions. Man, getting into that though, man. Let's talk a little bit about baseball, man. We got so much going on. As a Cubs fan, I'm watching every single former Chicago Cub in Philadelphia just go absolutely bonkers right now. I'm talking Nick Castellanos is just swinging his schlong around. I'm talking Schwar bombs all day long. The Schwarbino, the great Schwarbino, doing it. And Craig Kimbrell, I mean, it's a 10-0 lead. I'm not going to what do you want? You want me to praise you for a 10-0 lead and you just close out the game? I ain't doing that. But with that being said, gentlemen, Chase, let's get into it, man. I want to talk to you first. Rest of the way, as it currently sits, who do you have going to the ship and who do you have winning it all?
I'm going to go with Phillies for both of them.
Come on.
They're good just on both sides of the ball. It's crazy. I mean, their starting pitching is really good. They have a good bullpen. Obviously, their hitting is really good. So, I mean, I feel like they have the complete package. They're going to go all the way.
And can we talk about it? I mean, let's talk about the greatest locker room song of all time, Dancing on My Own. I mean, I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. I go crazy to that shit. I was listening to that shit last night. But, Andrew, we in the same boat? Phillies? What do you got?
I am in the same boat.
Come on,
I'm in
Andrew.
the same boat, man.
Man, I'm going to go with Texas team just to be different.
Okay, name three guys in that rotation.
Looking at the Phillies, though, for some reason they turn something figured out. They get hot at the right time.
But that's the story. Y'all know that. It ain't no different than college baseball. Y'all, I mean, think about that 2022 Ole Miss team to be. I was there, Chase. We've talked about this numerous times. Mike, that was when we were recruiting you to be a Tennessee fan. I was in Oxford when they beat the tar out of Ole Miss, and to think that team won the national championship, but it was all about getting hot at the right time. It doesn't matter if you're talking about college baseball or pro baseball. You get hot at the right time, it's over.
Right.
100%. And that was the focal point of Philly last year. I think a lot of people were just talking about, they just got hot at the right time. They're not all that. We'll see them next year and we'll see what they could really be. And they're proving it now. It wasn't just getting hot at the right time. Like, they can consistently do this. I said the other day on a different podcast, I said that the Philadelphia Phillies are the Jimmy Butlers of the MLB. Regular season, it's just kind of like it is what it is. Second the playoffs kick in, it's a whole different animal, man. But talking about animals, Chase, I heard you send people to the gulag on the regular in Call of Duty. You just be sniping guys all the time. I mean, Jim's talking about it all the time. So I'm a Fortnite cat myself, so I don't know nothing about no Call of Duty. But talk to me a little about, the off season. Well, you playing some video games, doing your thing, man. Talk to me a little bit about the game.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta the working out and the throwing is only so much of the day, right? You take about 3, 4, 5 hours maybe of the day and do that, but when you get back, you're just like sitting here like, what do you do? So I go to the sticks. So Call of Duty is my game. Whether it's multiplayer, it's Warzone, whatever. I mean, I'm pretty good at both of them. But yeah, I mean, what you're hearing is the truth. I mean, I'm dropping bodies on Call of Duty. So
Man, come on. And I've been peeping Jim Cross doing amazing things in the NIL game. He's getting guys on and off the bench, the craziest deals you'll ever see. So I wanna go out there. I'm gonna start my own. Chase, I want to ask you, what kind of banking do you use?
banking.
Yeah, are you Bank of America, a Chase guy? Because listen, hear me out, right? Chase dollars representing Chase. I'm just saying, I think there's a lot that goes with that. There's so much to do. And me personally, I don't know if Chase Bank is listening to this, I would get on it. I would get on it.
That and he could be a spokesperson for Call of Duty, clearly.
Clear. You got the Travis Scott skin? Not the Travis Scott, the 21 Savage skin? Come on.
No, I don't.
Come on. You got the Nicki Minaj one? We got some kids listening to this podcast, so we're not going to talk about the Nicki Minaj one, but the Nicki Minaj one.
What game was it that Beam posted the other day that he accomplished some feat in? It didn't look like Call of Duty. I don't know if you saw
Fortnite.
it.
Fortnite.
Okay, Fortnite.
Fortnite.
These Tennessee pitchers be killing it on the bump, and then they be killing it on the sticks.
Hey, us. And Lindsey can speak for it too. I mean, you got one game a week. You got to find something to do.
Dude, you got you. And you have to be good at it too, man. That's the thing. But Lindsey, man, talking about it, I want your response too, because now I know you're a gamer as well. Like what's the preferred? What do you like doing? First person shooters, what are we into? But I also know, me being from Chicago, man, I know nothing about any of this. Golfing and fishing. I heard you're a dog at both. Talk to me a little bit about it. What are you into? Biggest fish you ever caught? Run me through it.
I haven't caught any like insanely big fish. I love fishing. Where I grew up, where I'm at right now, actually, there's 3 rivers that all meet here in Tennessee. So there's a lot of water. It's Kentucky Lake, fishing tournaments all the time. Get a lot of big fishermen that come up here and fish. As far as on the golf course, I've got the meanest hook, slice, all of it in between you've ever seen. Beam can attest to that. If y'all have him on, ask him about how bad I am at golf. Of both of them, I'm not great at either one. You hyping me up way too much.
But if you enjoy doing it, it doesn't matter, man. As long as you're having fun doing both.
So what I'm hearing is
sometimes I get to combine both because I hit my ball in the water, so I got to go get it out the water.
Come on. You come out with a fish too? That's crazy. I seen you going on some Happy Gilmore stuff. You come out with a gator. That'd lose my mind. I would lose my mind, bro. But so you're telling me that I won't see Steph Curry versus Andrew Lindsey at any point during the PGA Tour?
I've just gotten into golf to where I'm starting to figure it out a little bit, so I might get better.
100%. I've gone fishing a couple of times. I was talking to Jim about that when Jim was talking about Jim. It was like a year or two ago. We were talking about you bringing Jackson fishing, and man, I went fishing one time. They brought me to the sticks, bro. They brought me to the sticks, and I'm like 6 years old, and they were like, "Yo, man, we got to fish. You got to grab it." So I went to grab it. Tell me why this big old catfish just swallows my 5-year-old hand. I was never again. You never going to see me there ever again. I'm not going. I don't give a crap.
Y'all took him here.
I will go to the deepest parts of Chicago. I would never do that ever again.
I figured your 6-year-old childhood was like Boys in the Hood, where your friends say you want to see a dead body.
It was. That movie wasn't Boys in the Hood though. But I'll let it ride.
What is it? Dadgummit.
So disappointed. Don't ever disrespect my boy Cube like that ever again. But Cube is a friend of In Off the Bench. That has to be said. But I want to ask you guys, though, we're talking about going back into the city, going back into the roots, Tennessee. Have any of you guys been to a Tennessee football game this year? And if you were, what was that atmosphere like, you guys being back in Tennessee in general, or if you guys caught a game or two?
Me personally, I haven't been back. I'm in Tampa right now training for the off season and stuff. But I think I'm gonna try and get back for a couple of games, one maybe hopefully 2, and just see the guys and be able to hang around everybody.
How about you, Andrew?
Man, I went back for the South Carolina game, Revenge City.
Nice.
It was electric.
That's the one to go to, Mike. Didn't y'all go blackout for that too?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
And Mike, was it Minister Society I was thinking about? Which one's the one where they said you want to see a dead body? Fix it before I lose my mind.
That's the one with the handicapped kid, and they're like, remember they're like on a train, the train tracks. That's like an old school. What is that movie?
Stand By Me.
Yeah, that's Stand By Me, bro. That's there. I don't even think there was.
Give me juice over all of them.
I don't even think there were 3 minorities in Stand By Me in the entire movie. I think
I
it
don't
was
think
all
there
just
was one. I don't think there was one, bro.
Then I think they had one. I think they had one kid. But other than that, man, he said boys in the hood. Get the fuck out of here, Jim. What are we?
All right, back to baseball. All right, so Doe, man, starting with you, y'all make the run to Omaha, but I got to start, Hattiesburg. It's interesting that everything that took place there did, because the year before I was there for LSU, and I told people, I was like, that environment, man, I was like, I don't know, them people are crazy, and I was like, I don't like the bleacher setup, and it's hot as hell, and then ironically, y'all end up there the next year. Y'all got weather delays. The bleacher thing becomes a story. Like the crowd is every bit of raucous, if not worse. Like, talk to me about like the Hattiesburg and just how good it felt with all the weather delays and the comebacks. Getting that series win.
Dude, it felt amazing. Especially being able to win at their place. And this is like no shot at them. I mean, obviously they were a good team and they made it to
It's a shot. It's a shot. It's a shot. Chase, it's a shot. Headshot, 360, no scope, Call of Duty, sent to the gulag. Bye. Chase, continue, please. It's a shot.
But yeah, like you said, the whole weather delay stuff. I mean, we were like forced to sit under the bleachers while there was lightning in the area, and we were just like, "What in the world is going on right now?"
Did you see the picture of you trending around personally? It had you just sitting there on a table, like bored underneath the bleachers.
Oh no! So that was while we finished the first game, and I was waiting to pitch the second game.
Oh, I got you.
So I was just trying to stay out of the sun because it was like 145 degrees out there that weekend. I mean, I was pounding water and electrolytes and stuff. I had to go to the bathroom every inning, but this is how it works. No, but kind of going back to it, that series was a lot of fun. Their fans were super rowdy, and they probably fit, I want to say, 3,000 to 4,000 more than they can hold. There were a lot of people there. There were a lot of people there.
They weren't giving no seats to LSU fans in them bleachers year four. I'm trying to tell you, we were standing at the fence like a herd of cattle, and then like you're talking about, it's hot. It was like that last year too. And so the last thing you wanted was like bodies on top of bodies. Like, there was a reason why, like, people are like, oh, you just mad because you were there and LSU lost. I said, actually, no. I was there for both games that LSU won. It was so miserable there. I went back home and decided to watch on my TV. They actually lost when I went home. But I was like, no, it wasn't my favorite environment.
Yeah, sure. Not my favorite either. I mean, they're a little over by the bullpen. So the bullpen's on the field for the visiting team, and over there you have all of their fans, and there's not a single Tennessee fan over there, and so you're just being like singled out and called out while you're trying to warm up. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and you just have fun with them. They're not going to say much to you, but if you act like it's getting to you, they'll rip into you some more.
So Andrew, he says it's fun. You obviously started and pitched the game at Hattiesburg. Was it as fun for you?
I mean, the environment is definitely interesting. I think the heat and the whole situation was not fun at all. I don't know what Dollander's talking about. Although it did produce one of my favorite moments of Dollander, him coming off the mound after he struck out Dickerson, and he just shrugs forward. That was one of my favorite moments of
Look, Mike, let me tell you something. That was in off the bench crime. Dickerson is a guest of the show, and look, hey, I try to have love for everybody, but right. Dustin asked for it. He decided he wanted to run his mouth at Chase, and Chase wasn't having it. Anyway.
Well, listen. I'll before we continue, because this was the perfect segue. I want to personally take a moment. Tommy, I love you, baby. I'm truly sorry. I've been getting heat from Jim and in off the bench fans everywhere for the intro video we made last week with Paul Skeens. It was in off the bench on in off the bench crime. it was just too good of a highlight not to put in. So I wanna give my love to Tommy Hawk. I got an intro video coming of all his highlights as well. But I did need to publicly apologize to my man because I mean that kid is an absolute dog and I want it known. But it had to do it. Had to do it.
Well, don't worry. When you make this highlight video of these two guys, you can get them striking out LSU players. Do what you need to do, man. You know what you can do each week, since we had Wake the first week and then you had LSU striking out them. Then this week you can have Tennessee striking out LSU. We'll just go forward because after that, yes, you can just do them dirty like that.
Yeah, it's super easy to find LSU striking out. Like that's not hard at all. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Oh,
hey, no, hey, in that hype video that I said, did you actually watch the one I made for Doe after 2022?
It was. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jim, and I was hoping you didn't bring it up on the pod, bro. It was so like blurry and like
I don't know
if it was. Yeah.
All right, then go to YouTube and watch it because I put it on YouTube. It got like over 1,000 views. This is legit. Anyway, I put all those big strikeouts in the SEC from 2022, and so where it's relevant to this conversation is he had a 1-2-3 back-to-back Ks on Cruz, Dugas, and because Tommy White went there. I'm trying to think. Anyway, I know you know what I'm talking about, though. Anyway, he sat him down 1-2-3, bang, 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 easy money, and it was in those clips. I didn't hide it, even as an LSU fan. I'll put it out there.
that was the old SEC tournament.
Yeah, Mike, you know, when we were getting you to be a Tennessee fan, when you said who should be my college team, the time in which we told you is when Tennessee was LSU's daddy, unfortunately. They beat us 5 times in 2022. It hurt my feelings.
Man, and it was such a weird year, man, because like I've always been a minor league guy. I've always been a major league guy. Obviously, I went to Chicago, so that means we don't have any college sports to be proud of in the entire state of Illinois. But with that being said, you know, I'm talking to Randy, I'm talking to Jim, I'm talking to DBA, man. Where should I go? What should I do? Who meshes with me the best? You know, and at the time, there's still Evan Russell, and there's still Drew Gilbert, Tony V, all these different cats. Yourself, you know, we're getting those ideas and we're pumping them through. Man, I think I fit in here. And the history behind it is like, hey, man, like they haven't won anything in a very long time. They haven't been a pristine school in baseball in a very long time. And I got Randy out here emotional, dog, just watching every single win. Randy's hyped. Randy's excited. He's living. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, this is cool. And he's like, no, you don't get it, bro. Like this is like the fucking Super Bowl. And I'm like, I guess I just got here, so I didn't have like I was just there. And you know what I will say, Chase, to that point, they've been doing pretty well since I joined. So I don't know. That's just me personally. Me personally, I don't know.
But you know, obviously, speaking of Tigers, you guys, you know, coming back to you, Chase, you guys come up short. But you know, I got to ask you, man. Obviously, on that 2022 season, you know, didn't make Omaha, which is just the worst taste, the worst feeling. You do make it to Omaha this time. You know, you do get a dub while you're there, and you're highly competitive, you know, against LSU, who ultimately goes on to win it. So, you know, the goal is a championship, but this time making it to Omaha, like I said, you know, getting that full experience, you know, was it, you know, can you say it was still a great season?
I can say it was a good season. I wouldn't say it was a great season. You know, we had our battles very early on, and we came through it together. It was kind of one of those things where we kind of had to figure out what the dynamic with the team was and how to use that and just keep going. You know, with the whole pitching change when Lindsey started pitching to, you know, all the stuff that happened, you know, early on in the season with Maui and things like that. You know, we were just to say it, I guess to put it into terms, it was we had a big target on our back, and so people were coming after us with whatever they had, and so, you know, we had to figure that out. And I think Coach V made the right call with putting Lindsey up game 1, and then kind of pushed me back to game 2. It just kind of let me see what the hitters were doing and things like that. So, you know, props to good old Tony V on doing that.
Yeah, I mean, so y'all go from the big target, you know, ranked number 2 to start the season, you know, to having all those issues. But man, you gotta commend you guys because they said you couldn't win on the road, right? And all these things. And then what are we talking about? You ultimately you go to Clemson, you go to Southern Miss, and win in the most hostile environments. And so putting the haters to rest. And like I said, ultimately, just ran up against Juggernaut. And Andrew, I want to go somewhere with that. We talked on the podcast about how stacked the one side of the bracket was. Being honest, Andrew, if y'all were on the other side, do you think y'all would have been playing LSU in the championship? Because I do.
If us in Florida were flip-flopped?
You and any team on that other side. I just felt like Florida, no disrespect to the other teams. It just felt like arguably the 4 best teams might have been on one side outside of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely argue that. It definitely had some stars on that one side. I mean, you had the 2 strikeout leaders for the NCAA on the one side of the bracket. So, I mean, you could make that case.
Do you think,
Easily.
in the future, because it's been talked about, do you think there should be like reseeding for Omaha? They shouldn't just fall into that bracket like that. They should actually reseed them.
That would be intriguing. I definitely think that would make it very interesting, make it more balanced.
So I need your honest opinion. This is one I like to talk about with people, and obviously, try to leave your Florida hate aside because you are a Tennessee guy. But I felt like Wake was the second best team, even though they went home in the semifinals. Like I said, one side was stacked. Leaving Tennessee out. So take your own team out because I know you always got to feel like y'all are the best team. But do you feel like the 2 best teams were actually LSU and Wake in that semifinal matchup? Like you said, the strikeout leaders going head to head.
Man, you can make that argument too. That's very easy to make that argument. You have, with both teams, you have pitching, especially with LSU turning up in the College World Series, and then the hitting was unmatched.
Let me ask you, Doe. I wasn't going to ask you, but I know the kind of guy you are. You would have wanted to go head to head with Rhett Lauder, wouldn't you?
I would love to. I would have loved it. As a pitcher, you live for moments like that.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's talk about draft day, and then I'll let Mike get into all things, with your pro ball. Draft day for you, Chase. I obviously saw it on TV, but we're not there for the whole thing. Talk about who you were with, where you were at, and just the emotions that go through that that night.
Yeah, so that night I'll take you to the night before. I could not sleep that night. I was just very excited, very stressed. I didn't know what was going to happen. My agent was getting called and told a billion different things. So, it was probably one of the most stressful days of my entire life. And that was kind of the theme of the whole season. But draft day, I was actually in Seattle. My agency actually flew me, my parents, and my girlfriend out to be in Seattle and just kind of be around them because they had a couple all-stars playing there. So I got to do all that stuff. I got to go to the all-star game, go to home run derby and things like that, which was a lot of fun. But when draft day came, it was just us in a hotel room. And I had my computer set up right in front of me with a lot of my close friends back home on Zoom and some more of my family that couldn't make it to Seattle with us. And the first 4 picks go by and you're like, okay, that was already set. Basically, everybody knew that was going to happen. But as soon as the 5th pick came up, it was like, all right, who's going to go where? Nobody knows what's going to happen. And so I'm sitting with my my phone in front of me, and I have it to where the ringer is on, and I get a call from my agent in the 6th round. He goes, hey, just so you know, we're working through stuff, but if nothing crazy happens here, you're going to the Rockies. I was like, all right. I had no idea what that meant. That could mean 100,000 different things. You could go 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th, and I would have been happy with either of them, obviously, but the Rockies get up and I still hadn't got a phone call from anybody. And, they announced my name. I get blown up on Twitter first.
That's the world we live in.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, what is going on? Because they hadn't said it on TV for me yet. I didn't know if people were having an early, if I was delayed or something. So my phone started blowing up on Twitter, and everybody was texting me. I was like, I haven't got picked yet. What are y'all talking about? But then the Rockies picked me, and it was a huge celebratory moment. It was kind of like a big weight was lifted off.
What the blessing is though? I think when I really watch your game, man, I love it so much, and I think that's a winner's mentality. There's no overhyping the man, the myth, the legend, Chase Dollars. Like there's no, oh, he's an in off the bench guest, so I gotta hype him up. Like this kid is an animal. And when you just said that, it made me feel so much better because I got anxiety even hearing that 6th, 7th, and 8th was an option. We're talking the Oakland A's, the Cincinnati Reds, and the Kansas City Royals. Chase, if you got sent there, I would flip a table if I had to see you there for the next 7 years. I would not talk. I would be pissed. I would be pissed. So the fact, like, people can say what they want about Colorado, but at least Colorado, like, they have their postseason experience within the last decade. So I will. I just
y'all think this rant was bad? Consider this. This dude's a Cubs fan. Skeens and Floyd both went to the NL Central. So last week he was really on one because
I'm very upset. I'm in a glass case of emotions right now when it comes to Paul Skeens. I don't want to deal with it. But I thought I got blessed that Garrett Cole left, and now there's just another one in town, and I'm not ready for it. But.
But no, that's the whole story though is interesting though, because you always see these large parties, right? And you said it was just you guys, and I haven't been in that situation to know, but I wouldn't know what I'd want. I don't know if I'd want everybody there or if I would just want the most important people in my life. Like, I don't know. I guess there's a win to both of them, but man, the fact that you got to do all the other stuff along with it in Seattle just makes it that much cooler. Like you said, the All-Star game, the home run derby, that's what's up.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thankfully I got pretty close with Shane McClanahan. He plays for the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually gave me like his tickets to go to the home run derby and the All-Star game. So I had family tickets, and I was able to be pretty close up and stuff. And I mean, it was such an experience. And Shane is an amazing guy, and I'm actually in Tampa working out with him right now. So
DB would be doing backflips right now.
Look, all I know is when Doe gets called up, I need the family tickets. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. All right. So Andrew, for you, man, obviously it's not the same, in the 5th round as it is the first, but nonetheless, man, as a matter of fact, for you, I know it can be more pins and needles because he talks about getting that phone call, and we've talked to enough guys on here, they'll get calls from their agents and say, X, Y, and Z is looking at you, probably going to pick you. And then sometimes you get picked earlier, sometimes you get picked on point, and then sometimes it's the next round. Like, it's a little bit different than that first night. So for you, who were you with? Where were you at? And, just how stressful was your situation?
I was actually down in Florida already. I was down there with my dad, my brother, my sister-in-law,
committed,
my aunt and uncle. Yeah, I had no clue. People ask me all the time, they said, did you already know you were going to Miami, or like what happened there? And I was like, I had no clue. Like, you really don't have any clue what's going to happen, especially as you get into those. But I was down there with them, and then there was also a bunch of family friends down there. So when it came to this day 2, we were all at one of the condos of another family, and they had it on the TV, but everybody was just kind of watching, and I would leave the room and I would come back and everybody would be looking at me like, what's going to happen? Like, tell us before it happens, like, tell us what's going on. But I didn't really know. I kept it a secret from them, even when I did find out. And then it popped up on the screen, and we all jumped around, and someone started playing Welcome to Miami. So it was an awesome time.
Mike, your mic is muted.
Oh, Mike. Am I back?
Yeah, you lucky I can edit this.
He's back.
I'm back.
The idea that you were quiet when you're supposed to speak and you talk all the time was wild. Man, I didn't know what happened.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. No, yeah, for whatever reason, and I'm blaming Zoom, who is not sponsored by In Off the Bench. Get your ish together. Everybody's screen went black for a second, so I don't know what happened. Chase is still a black screen for me. Chase, are you here?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. There he is. Okay, there it is. We're back and we're better. Hey, this is a real show. This is not scripted. We are not robots. Real things happen to real ass people. So please Bear with me. That's why this
I
is
thought
a
I was
show.
going to edit this out, but now I'm not because that's entertainment.
I mean, come on. This is a real show. We don't do scripts on here. Everything is natural. But talking about being natural, man. I mean, I wanted to ask Andrew one follow-up before we get into everything with Chase. Andrew, man, you know, you're in Florida. So I'm gonna ask a question that is not appropriate, but I gotta ask it. Hey man, I'm on the Miami Marlins. I'm in Florida. Andrew, did you go down to Miami to the club scene and let every hoochie mama know I'm a Miami Marlin?
Absolutely not. I did not go to any Miami clubs.
That is not the Miami Marlin mindset. That is insane. But
Magic City Marlins.
It's a disappointing answer. But you know what? We still rock with him. He's a great cat. But Chase, man, talk to me a little bit about. We talked to Paul last week, and Paul had an interesting one because I thought it was the furthest thing from what he was going to say. I thought, and I talked to Jim about it before. You know, he's number 1 overall pick. You will be on a plane that night or tomorrow morning. And he actually said it was a week later until he actually ended up getting everything moved together. Being a top 10 pick, man, take me through the walkthrough of, you know, getting flights settled in, getting everything going. How soon after the phone call, you know, obviously getting drafted, were you involved in everything with them? And what was that process like?
Yeah, so I mean, it was probably 24 hours, and I had phone calls from, you know, the GM, the scouting director, and a lot of people from the front office, just, you know, calling to congratulate me and say welcome and things like that, which was awesome. You know, I love to hear from all of them, and you know, just hear that they're as excited as I was at that time. And you know, so I was in Seattle, so I had to fly back to Augusta, and I think when I got back, it was probably 3, 4, 5 days after I got the call that I was in Scottsdale at the spring training site. And you know, I had to go get MRIs done and had to, you know, do my signing and physicals and all that. And so once all that got done, I finally got settled in, and I joined the ACL team, and just kind of, we had a bridge camp. So that was basically, we got to the field at like 6:15 every morning, and you know, did our thing. We had meetings and just kind of, you know, just trying to get used to everybody's face and things like that. And you know, what was really cool about that whole experience was, it was just getting to know all the other draft guys. We played. So we had 2 Tennessee guys, which was me and Seth Halverson, and we had 2 Carolina guys, which was Jack Mahoney and Braylon Wimmer. And you know, Mahoney was the guy that I faced off against at South Carolina, so obviously we talked a bunch of shit against each other, and you know, just having a little fun with it. But you know, it was a really close knit kind of group of guys, and I stayed in Scottsdale the whole time until Instructs was done. So I've been in Tampa for a week and a half now. I just got here and have already started, you know, working out and stuff for the off season, trying to get prepared for that. But you know, that's really all that I did. I didn't get sent out anywhere. I stayed in Scottsdale the entire time, which it got long. There is a good bit to do in Scottsdale, but when you're there for 3-4 months at a time doing the same thing every single day, it gets kind of old.
Sure.
But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
For sure. You know, we followed them really closely throughout the entirety of the 2023 season in the pros and Joes. If you're not hitting that follow button, definitely hit it. But shameless plug. You know, watching the Rockies, I got to see him in person as well. I got to see Cody Bellinger do his thing, Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, and them boys just go crazy. And the Colorado Rockies were actually one of the worst teams ERA-wise as a pitching staff, with a 5.67 ERA. First 5 rounds, they take 4 pitchers. Can you kind of take me through what that means for you, how serious the organization is taking it? I mean, they're not, no shade to Paul, but when I look at the Pirates, I mean, the Pittsburgh Pirates pitching staff is on the back of Paul Skeens. That is what it is. But to really see Colorado take this seriously right now, and to really see them be like, listen, like, we understand we can't really, you know, do the whole free agent thing the same way teams like LA, teams like New York can do it. But we're going to do it through the draft. So what does that mean for you, that you're not the only young gun coming in?
You know, it's competition. I live for that kind of thing. You know, it just kind of fuels me to want to do better and want to move up as quickly as I can. And, you know, to be able to say that we have a lot of really, really good pitchers that we drafted, and then I got to see them pitch basically the whole time. And I didn't pitch at all. I was basically shut down the whole time. And so I got to watch them pitch and watch them do their thing. And I was like, all right, they look good. They look really, really good. And seeing that just brings a lot of hope to the Rockies, just because of the fact that they were so adamant about bringing in new pitchers, bringing in new faces and things like that to kind of help what's going on in the big league level right now. Obviously, nobody that's there wants to be losing 100 games every year.
Yeah.
So, something's got to change. And there's a lot of young guys that are coming up into the program or into the organization, I should say, now. So, there's a lot of openness, I guess you could say. So, for me, it's a wide open opportunity to be able to get up there as quickly as possible and, stay there. And so, I'm really excited. Like I said, I think we drafted 4 position players out of the whole draft. So we have a lot of pitching.
And I'm so jealous. The Cardinals need pitching bad, Chase, and they just decided, we're going to get all position players and just keep riding this same wave. I'm like, what are we doing here? I'm watching all you guys, studs I've watched in college, just go to this team, that team. I'm like, we going to get any of these cats that I've been watching dominate for the last couple of years? No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Open the mile up.
Like I said, we drafted a lot of pitchers, so it's going to be a lot of fun to see what all those guys do, and I'm really happy for them. But I'm also trying to focus on my own thing and do what I know I can do.
For sure. And you talk about not pitching at all this year. Can you kind of take me into that process? Was that a you thing? Was that a mutual thing, or whose idea really was that? And take me through kind of that mentality of that switch of like, hey, I'm going to continue to trust the process. It doesn't really matter what this season is because I know what the future is going to hold.
Right. Yeah. The thought process behind not pitching was kind of a mutual one. They looked at all my innings that I've thrown, and I threw a lot of meaningful innings, I guess you could say, is what kind of the way they put it. And I think I got close to 90 something innings, and so they were a little like easy about it because of they just had a lot of injuries come out with their pitchers and stuff, so they were just trying to take precautions and be as precautionary as possible with me. And so I wasn't mad about it. I was tired. My arm was tired. I threw a couple bullpens, but other than that, that was pretty much it. Just trying to work on getting back to sophomore Chase, I guess you could say, but kind of take another step, level it up a little bit. Last year didn't go the way I wanted it to, but obviously things happen for a reason, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. And
maybe it was so you didn't end up at the Pirates, like Mike said. You don't want to go there.
Hey,
you took a step back a little bit just so you could go 9.
Yeah, I won't do Paul. I'll do you one better, Jim. It was so he didn't go 6. It was so that Oakland didn't get him. That would have been.
Yeah, Chase ain't down for having 35 people watch him.
Chase, I'm sorry. I'm not watching a single game if you go to the Oakland A's. It's just not happening.
I will say the Rockies fan base is dedicated and loyal. They
100%.
They draw about 38,000 on average, and they just lost 100 games. So
100%. Now the Oakland A's,
it's awesome.
Wolf. Oakland, but
bro, I was there, Mike. I didn't tell you. I went to watch them and the Rays 2 years ago when we were that way, and I just wanted to go MLB game. We were up in San Francisco. Anyway, I think we got the tickets for like $7 on StubHub, bro. It's like you're going to a major league game for $7.
Bro, the charge fee for using StubHub is more than the actual ticket of the game, which is crazy. But something I love that we do on and off the bench and on Pros and Joes, which is so much fun, is kind of just talking about guys who you don't hear a lot about, whether that's minor league pitching coaches, whether that's mentors that are down there working for the Iowa Cubs. I know David Bodie teaches a lot of the young guys about what it's like playing with the greats, what it's like being at Wrigley Field. And I know you talked a lot about Shane McClanahan and what he meant for you. So can you kind of take me through how that relationship even started and what he's meant to you so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, so the relationship started because we have the same agent, and he kind of my agent put me in contact with him just to kind of, because he's been in my shoes. He went to, I don't want to butcher this, USF. He went to USF, and he was kind of in my same shoes, and his junior year didn't go the way he wanted it to either, and so it was just I'm kind of like on the same track he is, and having to hear that from another guy that's been through the same thing that I went through this past year, There's a lot that went on that I didn't really talk about. I didn't really tell anybody just because, I didn't want to bore anybody or bother anybody with the stuff that I was going through. But just to hear somebody say that they went through the exact same thing that I went through, both personally and on the field, it was really, really awesome to kind of hear that. And so he's kind of been another older brother to me. I guess you could say we've gotten really close since I've been here. And he he told me he's going to give me the rookie treatment. So he's been a little hard on me, but I'm not going to shy away from it and tell him to stop. But you got to get used to it at some point. But just seeing him and seeing success he's had and just watching him work and things and stuff like that has been really, really fun to watch. And although he is hurt right now, but he's doing what he can, and he still gets after it. So just being with him and being around him is only going to make me better. I'm picking his brain about every little thing that he went through and all the things that he's done. And I go to his house and I'm like, holy crap, like he's got jerseys all over the place from like Nolan Ryan and like Cal Ripken and things like that. And I'm like, all right, this is sick. Like, I want to do
definitely. Who's somebody, when you get to that point, whether that's playing against these guys, jersey swaps, whatever, who's somebody that you need a jersey of before everything's over?
I'm gonna have to go to Grom probably.
Really?
Go to Grom. Yeah.
I like that one.
I love watching him pitch when he's healthy. He's unhittable. So
Yeah. I have a hard time with DeGrom and anybody who's had Tommy John, because Jim always reminds me that I didn't know the technical term of UCL until about a year and a half ago. Listen, I'm a center fielder at heart. I never needed to know. I just knew it was Tommy John, bro. I went to public school in a city. They didn't teach us these words. So every time I hear anything about UCLs, I just
you didn't even do the ailment ligament, bro. Help me, man.
Hey, what does it mean? What does it mean?
Jim, hold on, wait, everybody be quiet. Jim, what does the full word UCL mean right now? Go.
I know it. He's asking you. He's putting you on the spot.
No, I'm asking you.
You're asking me because you don't know it.
I'm asking you.
I'll give you owner.
I'm asking you.
I'm giving you owner. You better give me the C. I gave you owner and ligament, man.
Listen.
You don't know. It's not championship, bro. Quit
catastrophic. Catastrophic injury.
All right. You usually give other folks homework. You got homework to do this again. And you're going to not only write out the words, but you're going to then write out, like, you're not old enough to remember the times like when I was young and you have to write things 100 times on a chalkboard.
How young do you think I am?
25?
Oh, man, this is why you're 45. But this is why I followed that Twitter account. This is why I am subscribed. I am a #1 follower. I retweet everything he writes. Man, but you know what?
Mike is always coming in with the shots, bro.
I'm
bro, he tried to flip it on me. Look, it was so funny. I got to throw him under the bus now. He's literally talking to the guests, and he was like,
just asking the important questions, man.
And he's like, what is the UCL? And I was like, bro, what they tear when you have Tommy John.
Well, but like, you know what I mean though? Like, there's MCLs, ACLs, LCL. Like, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't know. Like, no one said, "Hey, I had Tommy John."
I just don't understand, dude. You worked for the Chicago Cubs and you
right, but
baseball.
But we take care of our pitchers, so they don't have Tommy John. Like the Cardinals. So we take care of our cats.
Always with the shots.
Just so you know, you just jinxed somebody. Somebody on that Cubs staff is
good.
Tommy John. Bro.
Good. That rotation, good. As long as it's not Justin Steele, I don't care.
Get back on track and ask Andrew about.
Man, I have questions and you shush. Andrew. Anyways, asking the important questions here. Draft night, the night after draft night. How soon after are you getting involved with the organization? How soon after are you in the clubs in Miami? And how soon are you really just getting everything into it, just getting involved with the organization as a whole?
I think I flew out. I got drafted on the 10th, flew out the 15th, and like that day when I arrived, they showed us around the facility. The next day, they got us doing paperwork. The day after that, they got us doing workouts and throwing on the field, stretching, PFPs, all that. So it was like there was a few days in between getting drafted and getting flown out, but as soon as you touch ground there, you're hitting the ground running.
Without a doubt. And was that a big move for you? Like what I know obviously playing college ball, you're traveling all the time and it's a huge adjustment. So you're pretty used to it by now. But knowing it's more of a permanent stay for now and just kind of getting that understanding of like, listen, I'm gonna have to, we talk about it all the time about Cubs minor league ball. I talked to Jim about it about St. Louis Cardinals. Like, man, Chicago's great. But you're going to have to go to Iowa. You're going to have to go to South Bend. You're going to have to go to all these different affiliates to climb those rankings. Like, what is that conversation like for you? And I know I didn't ask Chase this, but it's just something on the whim, like, housing wise. What was that situation like? Are you looking into apartments? Are you looking into condos? Like, what is that all into?
Well, fortunately now the teams themselves take care of the minor leaguers, and they have at every level they have apartment complexes that they already have set up for you from when you get there. Down in Jupiter, when we first got there, since it's their training facility and FCL team, they have us in a hotel, so we just stay in there. We have one roommate, and then when you move up.
For sure. So, you pitch 2 games. You start 2 games in the FCL. Take me through what that was like, the emotions, just the vibe as a whole. Because, again, we talk about what you guys were able to accomplish in college ball. The fans is a lot different. I mean, we're talking 30+ thousand in college ball, and then you're going to a minor league FCL game, and it's the total. You still get a solid crowd, but it's a totally different vibe. Kind of take me through what that was like for you.
Yeah, it was really weird. The whole environment was super different than college ball. Like most of the guys down there with the FCL team, even the manager, pitching coach, all those guys are all from like Dominican Republic, Venezuela. So they're all speaking their second language if they're talking English, and most of them don't even speak English. So most of the game, you're just hearing Spanish the whole time, and then there's only like 4 people crowd. You're sweating, like the humidity is off the charts, so your whole hand just feels like you just dipped it in water in between each pitch. So completely different. It's going to be an interesting challenge. I'm excited to get back down there and get after it. But luckily, when I go back down there this time, it's going to be in the winter, so I'll get to ease into the heat and humidity.
For sure. Now, I know that was more of a PR question, so I got to ask the real questions here because this is a real podcast, Jim. I have to ask the real questions. It's important. Man. I grew up.
At the end of the day, if you embarrass me bad enough, I can edit it out. So I'm not.
We can edit it out, but you're not gonna. I mean, you're not gonna. Let's be real. But no, man. Growing up in Chicago, man, playing baseball all over, South Side, North Side, West Side, everywhere. Understanding like, hey, listen. Like, there's a lot of cats here that aren't speaking my language. I remember playing out in Humboldt Park. Man, you're sitting there thinking, are these mother effers talking about me? Like, they're all sitting around talking. No one's talking to me. Like, how was that for you understanding? Like, everybody's got their little group. Because Jim and I mean, come on, Jim. How many times have we had guys on here? We had Evan Russell say, you got these 17-year-olds that, don't speak English, but they just signed $10 million contracts and they're all in these affiliates. And, what was that like for you? Was it any different, than what you're typically used to? And how do you adjust to that?
Oh, it's way different, for sure. Way different. I still don't know how to adjust to it. I was down there for like 2 months with these guys, and, you pick up on some Spanish. I didn't really know that much. High school Spanish don't do much for you, especially
Not
when
a damn
like this.
thing.
It's a completely different. It's a completely different Spanish. Even if you were good at high school Spanish, they ain't speaking the same thing. It's completely different. So like a few of the guys speak English. Like sometimes you ask them, are they talking about me? And he'll be
100%.
like, nah, they're not. And then, but like they're talking about you a little bit.
They're 100%. You hear. Andrew's pitching. All he hears is gringo, 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 and you're like, he's talking.
Yeah,
about me right now. I know it. I know he's fucking talking about me. You can't lie to me right now. But yeah, it's definitely a different vibe, man.
They aren't taught not to point either. Like most of their talking is with their hands. So they'll be talking and they'll like point with their lips or their hands, and they'll be pointing right at you. So they're talking about you. And you can't even ask them, like, what's up? Stand it. They don't understand you. So, You just have to kind
Pull up
of
the
go
Google
with it.
Translate.
You gotta do what I did.
You can't do that. You can't be doing that in the dugout.
Yeah, man, the crazy vibe.
Well, what's
bro.
funny is that he
Crazy
brought
vibe.
up because I've been to Mexico like 4 or 5 times, and I took Spanish 1 and 2, and it's funny he said that just in general. Like he ain't wrong. Like it's funny how they teach you that in class, and then you go there and like you still don't understand anything anybody's saying.
Right. Well,
What did I go
pissed
to? What
me
did I go
off-
to class for?
Right, but that's the stuff that pissed me off. That's why Jim always makes fun of me on here, man. He's always talking about me in high school. He's always talking about how I went about my life in high school.
We're
Playing
not
high
doing that
school
this
ball.
episode. Move on.
Oh, we're not. But the point of that was, man, like I'm sitting in my high school class and I'm looking at both of my Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 teachers. They're both just white ladies. Like they don't know any more Spanish than
Yeah.
me. And they'd be like, Mike, can you say this? I'd be like, El baño, can I go to the bathroom? That's the only word, El baño. That is all I got for you.
Where do we ir a baño?
El baño, that's all I got for you. I'd go to the bathroom. I'd leave for the next 35, 40 minutes, go watch the Cubs play on a 120 start. It was a beautiful thing.
WGN.
Man, I'm not going to make any marquee comments today for personal reasons.
But do you know, Mike, for real, I know a lot of people that grew up Cubs fans simply because of WGN, because you could find the Cubs on when there weren't other teams on, right? This is before you had MLB, package and could see everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so you had whoever was on ESPN, but then you always could count on WGN to have the Cubs or the Sox. I know a lot of people who are Cubs fans just for that reason.
Oh, 100%. And I also, we're taking MLB shots. We're just going to continue them. Chase already said I can continue with the headshots. I find it very unproductive to pay for the MLB network and then a restricted blackout in my area is the only team I want to watch. Like I'm literally paying for this to watch the Cubs. And it's like, nah, if the Cubs are in your area, you don't get
for
to
what
watch
it's worth, you can't just attack the MLB for that. That's all professional. NFL does that too.
It just make it make sense. Yeah. The math's not mathing. Like I don't understand. I don't want to understand. It doesn't make sense. But Andrew, we gotta get back to you, man. We gotta talk about your story. The Miami Marlins. The Miami Marlins made the playoffs because the Chicago Cubs decided to lose 16 of 28 games at the end of the season in one of the worst fashions and the biggest snowball effect that I've ever seen. And Jim Cross just got a front row seat to watching me go through therapy. But
you shouldn't have tagged me in how the Cardinals finished last so much. I wouldn't even paid attention.
Listen, 20 games back. But with that being said, talking about that, Chaz Chisholm. Talking about guys like Josh Bell, Jake Burger, Jake Nasty, Sandy Alcantara, and so many others, man. I mean, and let's just talk about the pipeline, back in the day. I mean, we're talking about Giancarlo Stanton. We're talking about Christian Yelich, and God bless him, the late and great Jose Fernandez, man. You got so many guys coming through this pipeline, and Marlins baseball seems like it's kind of on the rise. It's coming back to what it used to be. And maybe even more promising to that. So to go to an organization like that, what did that mean for you? And who were you most excited to go down and pick the brain of, even if you haven't yet already? Who are you most excited to speak to and kind of just figure out how they go about their day?
I really didn't know a whole lot about the organization before I got down there. So many of the guys, one of the guys that, he speaks a little bit of English, but just watching him go about his business with Sixto Sanchez and seeing him come back from for a number of years now, he's been struggling to get back healthy. So watching him go through that, and even though I couldn't even really speak to him and pick his brain, but just being able to watch him go through all that and throw bullpens and see the organization excited about him and seeing him come up. And then, Archie Bradley came through there. Seeing him was the way he went about things was all on the field and on the field. The trainers, the people that picked up the trash, the people who delivered breakfast. It was awesome seeing him go to work. But as far as an organization and their development of pitchers, I was so excited. I got to doing some research as soon as I got drafted by them and seeing all the pitchers that they've pushed through their program and up the pipeline and into the it's awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited to go back down there and see what they're going to be able to do with me. So.
Without a doubt. No, I love that. He gave a real answer, Jim. He told me, man, I don't know, but I'm excited.
Here's the real answer I want, because you're fixing to ask them, what they're doing in this offseason, get ready. Chase, you still marketing and using that protein and actually working out? That's what I want to know.
I'm no longer marketing that protein.
What happened? You
Chase
wasn't getting
loves that
big enough.
protein.
You wasn't getting big enough, bro.
Nah.
I think
The
the
old
dollar signs
contract-
weren't getting big enough. You know what I mean?
the old contract expired.
100%. Can't re-up when the stock is up. You know what I'm talking about? But
Well, since
man,
since you're his new agent, getting him these dollars, I need him on a protein container soon. I will go.
Nah.
I will purchase it just because he's on it.
Nah, we focus on banks, sir. We're focusing on the bigger picture. We're focusing on the capital. But we're off the bigger fish, protein shakes. We're coming
At
after
Chase Bank.
Coming after Chase Bank, baby. Come on, man. Come on. You can't walk into a Chase Bank without seeing Chase dollars. But getting into that, talking about the creation of who you guys want to be and the legacy you guys want to have. It all starts in the minors. It all starts in the beginning, and it all starts with what the work you put in right now. What you give is what you're gonna get, and I'm a big believer in you get the energy you receive, and that's just something that's so important. So I mean, talk to me a little bit about what you two are both gonna do this off season to kind of just continue that uproar of where you guys want to be in that trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Go ahead, Chase.
I'm in Tampa right now, training with Shane and things like that. He kind of built like a home gym, and so we're like working out in his garage and stuff. And it's really, like I said, it's really fun to be able to watch him work, kind of like what Lindsay was experiencing when he was down in Florida or down in Jupiter. I guess you should say. I'm in Florida right now. Kind of being able to see him go about his business and see him go about his like rehab and working out and all that is just going to be invaluable for me. Just seeing what it takes to get to the big leagues and stay there, and on top of that, I get to work out alongside him, so it just kind of brings competition between each other and pushes each other to do things that we didn't think were possible. So like for me, like my goal is just to be able to push him just a little bit. I know he probably doesn't need it, but I want to be able to push him just a little bit to where like he starts to get annoyed of me, because if I'm able to do that, that means I'm doing something pretty good.
Are y'all going to get together in Knoxville? I know, talking to Cheese last year and Ben Joyce, like, a lot of those guys who were in the pros were getting together and doing workouts there. And I mean, when you look at the alumni of guys that y'all have put out the last few years, it feels like, man, if y'all went there and trained together, it's crazy. Iron sharpens iron. There's no telling what come out of Knoxville.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you probably got 20, 25 guys that are probably working out there now. So the weight room's probably a little packed more than Q wants.
Quit putting out so many dudes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say stop, but going back to it, this offseason is gonna be huge for me. Just kind of get a fresh start is kind of the way that I'm looking at it. It's a brand new thing. It's not college anymore. This is professional baseball. I kind of get to focus on this and this only, rather than trying to juggle school and social life and
field goal post in the river.
Yeah,
you're busted, bro. I've seen the video.
I wasn't on the field, but just being able to truly and wholeheartedly put my focus into baseball and nothing else is probably going to be something that I really am going to enjoy. Being able to put my best foot forward and just keep going.
How about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm back home to make sure I'm in the best condition I can possibly be in. Rest the arm up. It was a long season, as Dollander already said. So just rest the arm up. Be ready to go back. I'm gonna go up to Knoxville and train there. Maybe throw some bullpens to my boy Cal Stark. Get prepared to go back to Jupiter. So excited about it though. Just like Dollander, like not having to deal with social life, not having to deal with the schoolwork or anything like that, and just focusing on baseball. It's a blessing, man. I'm excited for it.
No doubt. Well, we'll obviously be following you guys and seeing how the progress grows. I have nothing but the utmost faith. I can't talk faith and confidence in you guys. But with that, Let's play a game of this or that. You both know how it works. Give you two options. You choose one or the other. You can't say neither, and you can't say both. All right. I will start every question. Chase, you will answer first, then Andrew. All right. What is better, breakfast for breakfast or breakfast for dinner?
Breakfast for dinner, 100%.
Yes, dude. I know there's a reason why you got it. I got your poster right there. Right there. It's autographed. Hey, did I tell you that? Jeff Vincent brought me by request your poster autograph. I got it. It's right there.
Yeah. I remember doing it.
Yeah. All right. What you got, Andrew?
100% breakfast for dinner.
Dude, both these guys, Mike. After the first four all said breakfast for breakfast. I'm now a fan of these guys over by you boys. Lock it up. Hey, and Mike, let me tell you something. The weirdest answer happened the other night. Me and Chris DeMoy, we because Daniel wasn't available, we did the episode with Peyton Holt from Arkansas, and we asked what his go-to breakfast item was. Everybody always says bacon or eggs. This cat said waffles. Never heard it before. Your go-to breakfast item, and he got
waffles.
Yeah, but we carb loading. If you don't give me the meat or the eggs, what are we talking about, Chase? Well, what's your go-to item?
Talking about waffles.
Bacon and eggs, 100%.
Exactly, Andrew. I mean, right? Like, it's the only way.
Hey man, Eddie Murphy said waffles. So
I do butter in it and some banana.
There you go. All right. Real question, real life. This could change my thought process about you all the way, Chase. Batman or Iron Man?
Batman.
Terrible answer. Andrew.
Iron Man, let's go.
Yeah, one is just rich and privileged, and the other one died for everyone, dude. Come on, Chase, be better.
Hey, you get a lurk in the shadows. I'll do that all day.
We're gonna find out if Mike
in Gotham though.
Yeah, right. We're gonna find out if Mike took a peek at my this or that questions I formed for you guys, because this one's better Chicago baseball movie, Rookie of the Year or Hardball?
Oh, what the fuck?
I did this.
Don't say no dumb shit, guys. Please don't do this. Please don't do this.
I'm gonna go Rookie of the Year.
Yo, he's so mad right now. Andrew, what you got?
Rookie of the Year.
Go ahead and explain how G Baby is so much better than Rowan Gardner, Mike. Do it.
Man, can you spell Rowan Gardner? I know that man personally. I mean, hey, he's a great guy. Me and him have had a relationship for a couple of years. He's a great individual. But G Baby, the legendary of G Baby. I mean, come on. I mean, bro, Keanu Reeves, bro. Can you name 3 actors in the entire movie of Rookie of the Year?
Gary
Keanu Reeves is the correct answer.
Hold on. Gary Busey,
cracked out of his mind.
Stern, the pitching coach, Daniel Stern. I wish I knew Rowan Gardner's
John
name.
Wick, Shane Falco. What are we talking about?
Footsteps Falco. That's where you went.
Footsteps Falco. That's where I went.
This is the most important this or that question I got, Mike. Pay attention, guys. What's better, U2's hair flow or Kirby's mustache?
Whose hair flow?
Yours. So I'm at each question is directed towards you. So Chase Dollander's hair flow or Kirby's stash?
My hair. What are you talking about?
All right, Andrew. Do we feel the same way?
Well, I ain't got it no more. So I guess we gotta go Kirby's stash.
Tragic. All right, so I'm gonna flip it. You now get the hard question: Chase's hair flow or Kirby's stash?
Bro, watch yourself here.
Ain't nobody watching nothing after y'all said Rookie of the Year. That's crazy.
Look, Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was in Starkville, bro. I was in Starkville, and Doe's sitting there warming up, and then he comes over and has his back right in front of us, and he's got these locks coming out of his hat. Anyway, I told my boy, he's a Tennessee fan. I was like, don't you just want to reach out and touch his hair? It's so damn pretty, man. I got dealt the worst.
That's a weird. That's a.
No.
If you asked me that, Jim, I wouldn't know what to say to you.
I got dealt the. You don't understand, Mike. You've seen my hair. I got dealt the worst hair. God hates me for what he gave me on top of my hair.
Listen.
There's a reason why there's
a God did not make you get a faux hawk, brother. That was you.
No, my head is shaved, bro.
That faux hawk though was you. That faux hawk was you. Do not blame God. Do not blame Jesus Christ Almighty for that faux hawk decision. That was you.
The
at
faux hawk is
11
not
at
what I'm
night.
talking about. I'm talking about the hair in general. It is thick. It is
Mm.
coarse. It is like a rug.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
moving on. Last question.
Blaming the
We'll
Lord
wrap-
is crazy.
We will wrap this thing up. All right. Think seriously. I've asked you a question similar to this, but I've reformatted it because of what y'all have done and now that you've been drafted. Would you rather lose all the money you've earned this year or lose the memories you've gained at Tennessee?
I'd rather lose the money.
This man's just throwing the bag away, Mike. Andrew, we feeling the same?
I got a lot less money to lose. I would definitely lose the money.
All right, Mike, shut this thing down. I'm not going to keep these guys all night.
Some liars on here, man. I'm taking that money. I can always get new memories. But, man.
I mean,
listen.
Paul said he was taking the memories too, and that man got
Paul
$9
is
million
the
bonus.
number 1 overall pick and has a bag. Like, he's fine. Paul is doing just fine, but especially with that stash. But if you want to see Paul's episode, you can definitely check it out now on In Off the Bench podcast. If you want to check out our first 2 episodes of In Off the Bench, is Pros and Joes season 2, you can definitely check that out on all streaming platforms. Check out the YouTube though. I don't know why y'all listening to this in y'all car right now and y'all not seeing the amazing hair flow of these gentlemen right here. And Andrew smile. Come on, talk to me. And his Lego set. You got to see it. Andrew, show me the Lego set right now.
Oh, what a way to end this episode.
Come on. Show me the come on. Play
You
with
want to
it.
go
Play
build
with
it. Right? You want to go build it right now, though.
I want to go build it right now. But we got the Spider-Man 2 game coming out tomorrow, so Mike Hughes will be out of connection and out of reach from the entire world for the next 24 to 48 hours. But with that being said, we appreciate Andrew and Chase for hopping on the show today. This has been episode 3 of Pros and Joes that I don't believe has a title of an episode, but I think now it has to be Dollars for Days. I mean, we're talking about it. We're talking about chasing the dream. I mean, what are we talking about?
Chasing a
Legos.
Dream is actually that you just actually said the title, Chasing a Dream.
Well, you know what? There wasn't a title written, so I'm going to continue with my outro before I was so rudely interrupted. Man, the next guest, first duo that weren't teammates. That's right. Cade Keeler from Campbell and the 70th overall pick by the Atlanta Braves. And Jason Savacool from Maryland.
Dude, hey, bro, can I tell you something? Since you threw daggers off,
I was just giving
you threw
Jason
daggers
so
off.
much love.
You know, you didn't remember their names, and you just got caught reading. You told people to watch the YouTube. People are going to see you reading off the sheet.
Listen, bro. I'm reading an outro. There's specific words to this outro. I need to know what pick they were. I need to know where they're at. Anyways, because it didn't matter to begin with. Jason was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, and he will have to wait until free agency of 2030 until his baseball career ends up having fun, because St. Louis is not cool. Until that next episode, man, because Jim Cross just rudely interrupts me all day long. We will check you guys out next week. Until then, stay beautiful, stay blessed. Do not blame God for your faux hawks. And we will check you guys out in the next one. Peace.